Big shout out to Prime XBT for sponsoring today's video. If you don't know who Prime are a platform where you can not only trade crypto, but you can also trade FX, commodities, and stock indices. And the beauty of these guys is you can use crypto, either Bitcoin or USDT, as collateral to trade against these pairs. If you want to find out more about them, then check out the links down in the description. And if you do want to trade with them, then use our codes below to get up to a 7,000 USDT deposit bonus and 25% off trading fees. So thanks once again for sponsoring today's video. Hello YouTube, good morning, good evening, good night, depending on what time you're watching this. First and foremost, as usual, remember, nothing discussed today is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. It's just for educational purposes only, and this is my view of the markets. Now that's out of the way, welcome back. We're now on episode 5 of our trading tips playlist. And today we're going to be covering a topic that's often overlooked by a lot of trading gurus because, well, they just don't understand it themselves. And the topic is pretty obvious. It's trading psychology. It's right in front of your face if you can't read. So trading psychology, why is it important? Well, mastering your own mindset is, in my opinion, the key to long-term success in this game. And if you can't, then just don't bother trying. So this is going to be a short video, shorter than the other ones, because I just want to cover a few things, and I want to explain to you how psychology works when it comes to trading and how effectively all markets work based on psychology. So your mindset is your most powerful tool if you want to become a successful trader. Right? If you can't control your emotions, you're not going to succeed. Right? And this is probably the most key thing I can talk about right here. If you are a highly emotional person and you get angry at the slightest little thing, or you get euphoric over a small win, then perhaps you should walk away from trading. If you cannot learn to control your emotions, this is not the career for you. And most people won't tell you that because it won't get views, it won't get likes, it won't get clicks. But you know me by now. I'm an old Yorkshire man and I don't give any bullshit. I just speak as it is. Okay? This is from my experience. So, yes, people, you might switch off here because you think I'm a highly emotional person. And to be fair, if you do switch off here, then yeah, you probably are. This isn't right for you. Okay? But if you want to continue, then stay with me, right? Professional traders require discipline and a carefree state of mind. Now, this carefree state of mind, I've actually stolen this from one of the professional traders that helped me the most throughout my career, and that's Mark Douglas. Now, if you've not heard of Mark Douglas, then you need to get yourself on YouTube and type in Mark Douglas and consume as much of his content as possible. And if you want, then go buy his books. There's no affiliate links or anything like that in the description. Look at his books. His books are fantastic. Okay? They really will help you, just like they helped me. Okay? So, a few examples. Professional traders, they don't get angry when they lose a trade. Okay? You lose your trade, you shrug your shoulders, you move on to the next. Okay? We also don't get euphoric when we win a trade. And that's a key tell, is that if you get overexcited because you've won a trade, and maybe it's the best trade of your life, you just move on to the next one. Yes, I'm not saying don't have a small little party in your mind, but don't overthink it, because when you overthink, when you get euphoric, then all of a sudden you think that you're in God mode and you will start making sloppy mistakes. Just like if you get angry when you lose a trade. This can lead to things like revenge trading, which, yeah, quite frankly, is probably the worst trait you can have. Okay? We always remain neutral, right? It's very systematic. If you want to get good at trading, it's very systematic. I've said this many, many times on the channel. If this, then that. And that's how you need to think. If this happens, then I will do that. If this happens, then I will do that. Okay? So that's how you need to think. It just very regimented. At the end of the day, it's just numbers on a screen. And that's how you got to think about it. Okay? Another example. Professional traders don't get FOMO after a pump. Now, obviously, if you don't know what FOMO is, then you've not really been around the market very much. But FOMO means fear of missing out. Okay, so it's what happens quite a lot. So as prices coming up here, this is when all your friends and family are starting to talk about Bitcoin, and they're going, yeah, it's I've heard on the news it's going to 100k, it's going to 100k. That's what you call FOMO, because you are buying in after a significant pump. And effectively, that's where people that have FOMO come into the market and start buying because they've seen this uptrend and they realise they've missed out on it. So then they start buying it in, but anyone smart then starts unloading their bags onto these people with FOMO, and then that's what causes the reaction. And then these people that got FOMO get wrecked, and then these people will not come back to the market until price is at another all-time high. And they will rinse and repeat, and that's because they can't control the mind. Okay? It's like the same people that have held on to Bitcoin all the way down here. Okay? You got FOMO. That's all it is. We don't get overly bearish after a dump. So a quick way of changing your mindset after this is, after a correction like this, now again, I'm not saying that this particular correction has finished. It might have finished, it might not have finished, we don't know. Nobody knows. And I don't care who you listen to. Nobody knows if it's finished or not. But as price comes down here, bear in mind, we are down from the all-time high. We are down 77%. Okay? So, in most people, they're going to start thinking, oh God, it's over. It's going to zero. It's doom and gloom. But what you've got to do is you've got to flip your mentality around. You've got to flip your mentality, and you've got to start thinking, well, if price is coming this low, well, you've got to think about the opportunity. It's now an opportunity. Okay? It's an opportunity to buy, for example, Bitcoin at a cheap price, at a discounted price. So you've got to flip your way of thinking. So instead of getting excited up here, you get excited down here. Okay? Up here, instead of being bullish, you become bearish. If you want to use those terms. I personally don't like those terms, because that's, again, you're in one club or the other, which I don't like. You're not remaining neutral. Okay? But when price is FOMO pumping up here and everyone's got the laser eyes on their Twitter page and everything else, and 100k is next, and yada yada yada, that's the time when you think, all right, okay, well, maybe we need to start reducing risk. Okay? Just like down here, when people start talking about that Bitcoin's going to zero and crypto's over and we're going into a 15-year recession or whatever people are talking about right now, that's the time when you start thinking, okay, well, people are overly bearish. Now, I'm not saying, by the way, buying down here or buying here, because again, this ties into it nicely. So what can we say? And I've seen this a lot at the moment, especially with a lot of altcoins. So we're just going to use Bitcoin as an example here, but there's a lot of altcoins that are very, very high and very overextended right now. But we've had a 56% pump on Bitcoin from the lows. That's a very good pump in Bitcoin terms. If you look at some of the altcoin market, some of the altcoin markets are up 500%. Right? And this is where FOMO kicks in now. So people think that because the price came down here, like I said, if you remain neutral, you then think of the opportunity. If now you've got a lot of fear in your mind and you can't control that emotion, then you think, well, I'm not going to buy here. Because why would I buy here? Because Bitcoin's going down to zero. I'm not going to buy. So what you do is you wait and you see, and we see this uptrend. And then now, as price is starting to mellow out a little bit, now you're starting to think, oh, well, I've missed all this. Damn, I need to get in this just in case now it goes to 100k. Okay? So then you got FOMO. This is what you need to control. Now, I'm not saying it can't go up from here. It can. It can continue up. But rather than letting your emotions take control and thinking, all right, okay, I need to get in on this, then you just sit back. A missed trade is absolutely fine. If you've missed a trade, it's not the end of the world. There'll be hundreds, if not thousands, more opportunities over the next few years. So by missing one trade, it's not the end of the world, and you've got to really think of it like that. There's loads more opportunities. Look how many crypto projects there are. Look how many stocks there are. Look at all the Forex pairs. There's so much opportunity out there. It's unreal. So just because you missed one single move doesn't mean you have to FOMO in. Okay? If you want to get involved in a trend, then employ a range strategy. Like, for example, what I teach. So if you did miss this, absolutely fine. If you understand how to trade a range, then you could have got in at this point here and capitalized at least on this little bit here. Okay? Then if price does then continue up, then you're winning, but you've also taken some profits because you're not an idiot. And then if price does come back down, it'll stop you out at entry, absolutely fine, and then you look for another opportunity to get involved. So you don't get FOMO. You know, if you miss a trade, it's not the end of the world. There is more. So, as I say, like, as price is coming up here, I'm not getting excited for new longs. I'm getting excited for short opportunities. Now, I'm not saying that this is the right place to short yet. It could be. It could go higher. But this is how you've got to think. You've got to flip your mindset. So as price gets to range highs, you don't get euphoric, you don't get overly bullish, you start looking for shorts. As price comes to range lows, you don't start getting overly bearish, you start looking for longs. Okay, you've got to flip that mindset. And until you can control this, you're not going to go very far. Okay? So my best tip I can give you is go digest some content from someone like Mark Douglas and understand how to control it. And if you really want to get deep within the trading psychology mindset, then come over to our website. Links down in the description. Come join our free Discord first and foremost. And then your second course of action would be to go on the co-pilots course. Come down here, join the co-pilot section, which as I say is only £60. And from that you'll get over 80 hours of educational content, and some of that content will be these two modules here, which is trading psychology. And I talk through on these two modules a really in-depth way and a system to control your mind, spot where you're going wrong, and how to fix your mental mistakes. Okay? I also go deep dive in module 2 about what it takes to become a full-time trader when you are talking about requirements for earning a certain income, because you might have a family to support, or you may need a mortgage to pay for, or your rent. You know, there's a lot that goes into psychology, and it's always overlooked by a lot of the gurus out there because, again, they don't understand it, and they don't make their money from the actual trading itself. They make their money from you. Okay? I don't, which is why the course is so cheap. Okay? So this is my take on what you need to do to control your mind. Okay? So don't get FOMO after a significant pump. Don't think you missed out and that you need to long, and then ultimately you get wrecked. You know, you just wait for your next opportunity. Patience. Okay? Right, that'll wrap up for now. As I say, if you want to know more about this, then come over to our website. And until next time, gang, as you were. Bye-bye.